Hi, my name's Paul Evans, and as I was saying in my last, my first um, video, is that I've now decided to sort of like close my store and to sort of like roll on to retrain from being a salesman into being a tradesman. So just to give you a little recap, because I tried to post but it didn't make any sense, I thought I'd just let you know. So once I closed my shop, one of the first few days I spent was to just sort of like get used to the idea of putting it behind me, tie up some loose ends so that I don't end up retracting back into that business. And then secondly, I spent a few days ringing solidly a lot of companies, a lot of technicians to see if anyone would take me on. Because I don't have a clue of what I'm walking into, I wanted to see if I want, get some hands-on experience. So what I did, I decided to go voluntary because why would a tradesman pay you to stand there if you don't know anything? You're no good to him anyway. But if you're there voluntary, right, it's a win-win. One, he hasn't got to pay you anything, and on the flip side, it only shows from his side that you must be really serious to give up like a whole day or put in some serious graft. And it's no skin off his nose whether you show up or not. It's not costing him nothing. So one of the main reasons why I rang around as well is because sometimes sending CVs just doesn't work. It doesn't work. This is not maybe for the office gig, but for trades and skills, people want like that old-fashioned talking. People want to communicate. Sometimes they can pick up if you're genuine, if you have a sense of humor. Just in like a few lines, just cracking a joke. Sometimes you ignite something, a connection, and they say, yeah, okay, come. You know, nobody wants a miserable sod around them, right? So you're kind of giving them a heads up of what to expect once you can crack a great personality down the phone. They're not interested in CVs. Maybe later, but they just want to see you as a character, as a person. Are you going to show up on time? Are you going to have an attitude? Are you going to, misbehave, be on your phone 24/7? These are the things. So I rang around, found a guy in South London. I had a zillion no's to begin with, and that's all character building. A lot of people I found, they can't ring cold calling, asking for a job. I don't have no problem. I think that's because I was in sales. So I'm a maniac when it comes to things like that. I could just, off the cuff, just ring anybody and just talk, call, and pitch my sale. So although I've closed my store as a salesman, I'm still a salesman because you still got to sell yourself to people. And I'm very good at that. Very good. So anyhow, I found a guy. He said, yeah, all right, when can you start? I said, oh, a few days from now. He said, okay, no problem. Tidied up some loose ends, called him, we met up. I'm there thinking we're gonna sort of like go for a coffee, have a chit chat. When I met up with him, I think it was in East Dulwich, he was on the phone yelling at someone already. Something already went wrong. I kind of kept my distance out of earshot because I could already read he wasn't having a great day. So when he saw me, he said, oh, hi, how you doing? We spoke briefly. and then he says to me, hold this ladder and hold this, I don't know what it was, a huge machine. Just follow me across the road, he said. The next thing I know, I was in nice clean clothes and I was up a ladder. I couldn't sort of like pretend like I didn't care. Well, I didn't care because, I think he was just testing me, but my clothes had to get dirty. My shirt, my pants, everything had to get dirty. And, I think sometimes they do that to throw you in the deep end to see, let me see if this guy, what's he really about? So, I pretended like I had overalls on, jumped up the ladder. I'm on the roof, very exciting. I don't know what he was doing. He was fixing something a previous technician couldn't do. We're talking briefly, but I was basically just fetching what he had and helping him out. And for a moment, I quite enjoyed it. Obviously, he's not going to say you're hired because, well, but I just showed willingness. And that's what I think they want to see. Anyhow, that went well. Then he said, all right, the next day you can start. Bring some footwear, trousers, work trousers and stuff, which was good. So, yeah,